So I worked out Stephanie's calories for the breakfast and it came to around 1,068 calories and 200 grams of carbohydrates, which is actually awesome. Reverse dieting does not work. It just leads you back to dieting and then you're just there forever going crazy. I want to bring up another YouTuber who Stephanie actually features in this video as a success example.
Start eating less and have less of an extreme appetite, my body will be ready to lose some of that overshoot weight that I gained.
True, you will most likely lose some overshoot, but you'll still have to keep restricting those calories. Here are 3 things that I recommend Stephanie does straight away. Hey free woman. So today we are going to watch some footage from Stephanie Buttermore's videos. One in particular called I ate 5,000 calories every day for a month, why I did it and what happened, and I will react. So, who is Stephanie Buttermore? Honestly, I had no idea who she was up until about 2 months ago when a lot of you requested a video on her and a response to her all-in approach. So Stephanie is 29 years old, she's 10 years younger than me and around the same height as me at 5'5". She is an ovarian cancer research scientist. By the way, I just started a new channel called Women's Weight Loss Expert, that's me, where I upload a video on Stephanie Buttermore's approach called Everything Wrong with Stephanie Buttermore's All-In Approach. Just make sure you actually watch the video before you form any conclusions, and definitely subscribe if you want more of these videos. The link is in the description below, in the comments, and also in the card featured somewhere here. So like myself, Stephanie has been involved in body sculpting comps, extreme dieting, and basically that whole gym rat lifestyle.
So here I am 6 months later, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I honestly had no idea if I was going to see any difference at all, but I humbly think that I made some decent progress.
For those of you who don't know, in my 20s, I actually ran a successful personal training business for around 5 years where I gained certification in nutrition, weight management, advanced aerobic conditioning, and advanced weight training. Yes, I have proof of this and I'm going to show it in my next video on my new channel, so go over there. I also dated a former Mr. Australia bodybuilder, which was quite a ride. Let me just say that, I'll just leave it at that. And I talk about this more in my Naked Lunchbox, in my new book, My Naked Lunchbox. So in this way, Stephanie and I have definitely had a similar past. So Stephanie promotes this all-in approach, which honestly gets me really excited because I haven't seen any other YouTuber, any other big YouTuber who has been promoting this.
We talked about a concept that she refers to as going all in. It's something that she recommends to all of her female clients that are currently undergoing HA and want to get their period back and want to get their health back. So basically what I'm here to tell you in this video is that I am going all in. What this basically means is that I'm going to be eating a minimum of 2,500 calories a day every single day, but this is just the minimum. I'm actually not going to be placing any kind of maximum for myself.
2,500 calories. Sounds familiar, right? Like this is the exact number that I have been promoting for like, I don't know, like a decade, and also the unlimited calorie approach, but under the healthy raw to 4 umbrella and high carb vegan umbrella. Obviously where Stephanie and I differ considerably, of course, is that she recommends eating anything at all in her approach, even if it's not really food.
Can I place an order for delivery, please?
So yes, we did start with pizza. Figured I'd ease my way into things.
By the way, hang around to the end of the video where I round it all up and I give Stephanie my 3 best tips. So we're about to get into the video, but before we do, make sure you vote on these videos. When you vote, it tells me what you actually want to see and how it makes you feel. So it gives me more feedback, you know, that is valuable to my future video making. And yes, you can give it a thumbs down. You can give it a big fat thumbs down. That is okay. And by the way, there are some people out there who just hate me promoting my book. They're giving me so much shit about promoting my book in my videos. And it's like, well, duh, it's my book. And I believe in it, and I've put so much work into it, and I've gained so much health and lost over 40 pounds on the raw and raw to 4 lifestyle. So of course I'm going to promote it in my videos. So sorry, not sorry. I'm still going to promote what actually works, whether people like it or not. Okay, let's get into it.
So for the last month, I have been all in, and I've been eating about 5,000 calories a day. Well, 4,820 to be exact, according.
I totally believe it. For sure. I was also eating up to this amount when I first came to the raw vegan lifestyle because I was in this post-dieting recovery mode.
And that number was not a target or anything. I didn't have any specific number in mind. That was just how many calories it took for me to feel satiated every single day.
Awesome. I am 100% supportive of honoring one's hunger cues. You know that. As I always say, it is so important for healing. Calorie restriction for weight loss and metabolic healing does not work. Just stop it. Reverse dieting does not work. It just leads you back to dieting and then you're just there forever going crazy, pulling your hair out. You must be fully satisfied every single meal for long-term health and leanness.
Because I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page, I didn't just do this for kicks or for fun. I did this for my health, and I wanted to do this for my quality of life, my metabolism, my relationship with food, and most importantly, my extreme hunger. And I went into this in more detail in my first video,
So I know a little bit about her past. It's obvious she feels extreme hunger because the brain is simply trying to fill this caloric void she created through semi-starvation dieting, like many women have. And this is clearly demonstrated in the study, The Great Starvation Experiment by Dr. Ansel Keys. And if you want a video going more into that study and how it relates to your own weight loss, then definitely let me know in the comments below.
But in short, I thought I could put my extreme hunger to rest by allowing myself to eat to full satiety every single day.
So you were just saying to me what?
Okay, so this is what I had for breakfast. I had 2 large bananas, I had 2 packets of oatmeal, I had an apple, and then I had 4 sweet potatoes, and I had 2 scoops of protein. Is that normal?
And by putting
That's
myself...
that isn't normal, but that should be normal. It's not normal, and that's why we have an obesity epidemic. You know, breakfast like that should be normalized, as it's actually pretty good. It is actually pretty good, except for obviously the useless, cruel dairy industry waste product, aka protein powder. So I worked out Stephanie's calories for the breakfast and it came to around 1,068 calories and 200 grams of carbohydrates, which is actually awesome. You know, it's really good, but we are just so brainwashed. You know, we are taught by these out of shape, sickly dietitians, yes, even on YouTube, that it is a bad thing to, you know, eat this much and it's overeating. Okay, sis, whatever. I mean, if everyone ate high carbohydrate, sufficient calories like that, then we wouldn't have this obesity epidemic that we have. Look, I've been recommending 800 calories or more for breakfast for a long time because it actually works, and that's what I have every day. It works.
Myself in such an extreme surplus, yeah, I did gain quite a bit of weight.
But that's the thing, it's not actually an extreme surplus. Surplus meaning excess. It's actually you eating sufficiently or adequately based on your current needs of your body. It's just your body catching up on the extreme deficit that you created through the semi-starvation dieting, like a lot of us have. You know, as you can see from her body here on the left, she is obviously depleted. You know, I've been monitoring thousands of women's bodies since I was 22 and their eating habits. She is clearly glucose and water depleted on the left. And on the right, she has just started eating again and she's naturally gaining this glucose storage and fluid. And I speak all about this in my Keto Diet Debunked video, which you should check out in the featured card here, wherever it is, or in the description below.
And I may continue gaining weight, and hopefully I'll hit some sort of plateau, and this is all in hopes to find my natural set point. I was actually going to go into the science of set point theory and a few other...
So I talk more about set point theory, my other video, definitely go and check that one out. You're just not going to get to your set point when you are eating foods that aren't meant to be in the human body, and I talk more about it in that video.
After being like a bottomless pit and of course gaining some weight, the idea is that I will no longer need as many calories to feel full and I'll start eating less. And once
And this is true to some degree, but remember, it depends on what you are eating, and I go into more detail about this in the other video, so check it out. And this drop in appetite happened to me on the raw vegan lifestyle, and it continues on the raw to full lifestyle. And I don't mean like I don't have any hunger at all or anything like that, but it is a normal, healthy hunger. I'm never ravenous, you know, absolutely ravenous, of course, unless I, you know, undereat all day or something like that. That's just natural. The brain is telling you to eat, eat, eat. My hunger was absolutely ravenous when I first came to this lifestyle after like years of yo-yo dieting. It's just completely natural for this to happen. But now it's less in general, depending on what I do. But I always desire and eat over 2,000 calories and generally around 2,500.
Start eating less and have less of an extreme appetite, my body will be ready to lose some of that overshoot weight that I gained. And I'm not the only person that has gone.
True, you will most likely lose some overshoot, but you'll still have to keep restricting those calories. You know, because if you continue eating calories from low fiber, high fat and protein animal sources, it just doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work because they're not foods that are designed to be in the human frugivore's body. So you're always going to have to restrict them. You want to eat freely, not restricted.
I was lucky enough to chat with author of Damn the Diets.
All right. Okay, so I already addressed Kayla's situation in my other video, which you can go and watch, so I'm just going to skip this bit. But I want to bring up another YouTuber who Stephanie actually features in this video as a success example. Olivia.
People who have gone all in before me to restore their normal hunger cues after being in a caloric deficit by going all in. And yes, they almost always overshoot their natural set weight when they initially go all in, but eventually and very slowly do come back down to their natural set weight range. And this happens because their hunger cues are restored and their appetite eventually decreases.
And I actually spoke to Alicia yesterday and she thanked me for helping to heal her extreme hunger, largely by following my high carb, unlimited calorie approach. So Alicia says, "Thank you very much for introducing me to this unlimited calories approach on a plant-based diet. You're the first person that introduced me to this healing process after calorie restriction. I relapsed many times, but when I finally stuck through it in 2016, I lost all the weight eating a bare minimum of 2,500 calories. It took me a total of 3 years, whereas before I'd do it for a few months and give up. I remember always watching you in disbelief and only finally fully trusting the process after going through it myself." So girls, this is really important to take note of this and to go and watch Alicia's video because this approach works, okay? You need to stop starving yourself. You need to start eating freely and trust my advice. Honestly, I can't tell you how happy it makes me feel to hear that she is healed because this is basically my life's work, is to help liberate animals and to also help liberate women from the grips of this ugly, ugly dieting industry. You know, that is just so important to me, especially coming from it myself and knowing that there is an answer, you know, and the answer is really, really quite simple. And it's so freeing. It's so absolutely freeing that until you try it, you just will not understand how powerful this is.
So do carbohydrates make you fat? No, absolutely not. Carbohydrates do not make you fat. It's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. The thing with whole food carbohydrates are that they are very high in fiber and water. So the thing about carbohydrates is that you can have a massive volume of food for far less calories than you could, for example, of some cheese and some meat, for example. You could have a 500 calorie bowl of potatoes that's this big, whereas you could have a 500 calorie plate of meat and cheese that's this big, for example. Those aren't exact proportions, but I'm just...
Yeah, so go and watch her video. She is really clued up and she has the results, okay? She has the results and I think it makes me very, very happy. So clearly Stephanie has an example here, a high carb vegan all-in example, including myself, but Alicia here that she actually featured in her video, a success story. So I'm not sure why she would continue eating ovarian cancer causing foods like these during this recovery period. It just doesn't make a lot of sense and it's actually really hypocritical and irresponsible of her to promote these as she is an ovarian cancer researcher and I like Stephanie. So it's nothing about me not liking her or picking on her or anything like that. It's just pointing out this real issue here. You know, this is something that is like important to point out obviously because these foods that she's promoting and to a lot of women are actually disease causing. I mean, even if you don't want to do raw till 4, you can do a high carb cooked vegan approach. I am supportive of this, okay? It works. But if you want to really go to the next level, then I'd recommend the raw till 4 lifestyle. Absolutely, this lifestyle works. And I'm so glad Stephanie is actually documenting this process because it just reinforces what I've been saying for years and years and years. And now hopefully you understand more why, yes, some women do gain weight when they first come to the raw to full lifestyle and high carb vegan lifestyles. It just happens because of the dieting in the past, like it did for me, and I'm just eating fruits and vegetables, I'm gaining all this weight, and I'm like, what is going on? But it obviously comes right off eventually. Honor your hunger drive on high carb vegan and push through the weight gain, and eventually you will lose the overshoot weight. So Stephanie has spoken about the importance of the hormones leptin and ghrelin in regards to extreme hunger. And I'm going to try to simplify this as much as possible. And now it's going to start raining, so we have to stop. So you're probably going to hear some raindrops on the roof, but I can't help it. We just have to keep going, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So leptin is a hormone involved in regulating our appetite. You know, working out how much we are going to eat and also how much we weigh. So it basically signals to us to stop eating. And glucose, of course, has a special place in this whole process. Ghrelin, on the other hand, is the hunger hormone, and it is produced in the stomach and released into the blood and helps stimulate hunger. So it is the opposite, and it makes us more likely to choose high-calorie foods over low-calorie foods. Which pretty much confirms what I've been saying for years, is if we don't eat enough in a meal, or in general, we become ravenously hungry and later binge out on higher calorie, higher density foods. And ghrelin levels naturally increase after you're coming from dieting because of that lack of calories and that lack of carbohydrates. So calorie restriction can lower leptin levels and increase ghrelin levels. But luckily, of course, I mean, it's predictable. There's actually science showing that a high carbohydrate diet, low fat, has an inhibitory effect on ghrelin levels. So in this way, you can see a big problem with Stephanie's all-in, eat anything approach, because ghrelin levels are going to remain elevated because, you know, she's not getting this, you know, real human nutrition that she needs, this, you know, high fiber, high carbohydrate, this, you know, water that is necessary to distend the stomach wall and important in the release of ghrelin. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. Back to the video.
And there was no signs of turning back because I was still ravenously hungry. But this is when I kind of started experiencing a lot of the side effects that come along with eating that many calories. I was super sweaty.
It's not just eating that many calories, it's also the type of calories. We cannot forget that.
And hot all the time. My face was always really swollen and puffy in the morning.
So at the beginning of going all in, I kind of felt like every single day I woke up, my face was super puffy.
And my ankles were always swollen at night. And these are some symptoms that Kayla also experienced.
So she is experiencing edema here. So she's experiencing this water retention for a very good reason. It's mostly fluid retention from, you know, toxic byproducts from the animal products and excess sodium. You know, this is why increasing potassium intake, like I've spoken about before, is really powerful in decreasing circulating sodium in the body, because it actually helps your body flush out this excess water weight from the excess sodium. You know, 98% of Americans, which is most of you watching, are actually potassium deficient, you know, due to not eating enough fruits and vegetables, you know, plant foods. That's where you're going to get most of the potassium, and the healthiest source, obviously. So this is a major reason why I am lean, you know, lean for the past decade, because potassium is crucial to optimal function of every one of the trillions of cells in your body. Don't forget that. You know, this is very, very important. You know, the more potassium incoming, the more sodium you will have outgoing. The more sodium you're going to lose through your urine. You don't want that excess sodium. It's good to have hydration in your body when you're storing carbohydrate, glucose, glycogen, but you do not need that excess water weight associated with excess sodium. We used to get around 11,000 milligrams or more of potassium back in primal times, where we're eating more plant foods, and very little sodium. But now the average American ingests around 2,500 to 7,500 milligrams of sodium per day. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount. And then people wonder why they're holding all this water weight. So you can imagine then we have a big problem in our society. We have a lot of potassium deficient people having too much sodium. So this sodium potassium balance is way out of whack, and people are holding a whole ton of water weight as a result. So increase your potassium, and you should be able to get enough if you include even just 5 to 7 bananas per day, which I highly recommend. By the way, if you want a video on potassium and how it relates to weight loss and everything like that, a little bit more in detail, then definitely let me know in the comments below. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here. Now, the roundup. The roundup is this. Here are 3 things that I recommend Stephanie does straight away. 3 important points that are going to help Stephanie with her all-in approach, help her satisfy her extreme hunger. Number 1. increase your potassium intake to meet at least the minimum RDI, which is 4,500 milligrams per day. Personally, I think this is too low, but anyway, this will aid the sodium-potassium balance and help you eliminate your fluid retention issues and help clear up this edema that you have. Plant foods, of course, are the best, safest source of potassium. Number 2, increase your daily carbohydrate intake to 70% or more of calories coming from carbohydrates. This is really important for your hunger, to satisfy your hunger, because you're going to have an increased amount of circulating glucose in your body, which of course is a brain and body's #1 fuel source, #1 preferred fuel source. And this is also going to help increase leptin levels and decrease ghrelin levels. Number 3, significantly increase your fiber intake. This is really important for satiety, okay? Fiber is absolutely crucial to feel satisfied. We have this long colon for a reason. It is for high fiber foods. So you can do this instantly by removing all calories that are devoid of fiber. And we know which ones those are. It is animal products. They do not have any fiber in them. So why would you put them in such a long colon that the human frugivore colon is? It doesn't make sense. Animal products are of no safe nutritional benefit to the human frugivore. Remember this, okay? There is nothing found in animal products that is essential for human health that you cannot find in plant foods, and without the added disease-causing elements. Okay, so that was a long video, but let me know in the comments below if you found it informative, and definitely vote on the video, whether it's up or down. Just do something before you go off, and especially if you want to see more of these videos. So let Stephanie know that I made this video for her because I know it can help her so much. She could be an amazing advocate for, healing your metabolism on this all-in approach if she does it on a high carb vegan, under the high carb vegan umbrella. Stephanie, you will not be able to satiate your extreme hunger or maintain a healthy weight long term if you are eating the wrong foods. You will just continue calorie restricting the rest of your life. Go high carb vegan, and like the example you showed in your video, Alicia and many other women, and you will experience a level of satiation that you did not realize was possible. It is really quite a magical thing, honestly. It is amazing, and I recommend it to all of you to at least try it for 30 days. Like I always say, I even find it hard to gain weight now, eating all I care for, because my body is healed and in a happy place. And if you want to see more of what I eat to stay slim and fit and healthy, definitely join the Queen Bee group. Next to the subscribe button, there is a join button. It will tell you all about, there's a little video I made telling you all about the perks you will get if you join that group. All right, I'll see you in there, or I'll see you over on the new channel. Make sure you go and subscribe and watch that Stephanie video over there. All right, see you soon.